Merseyside police have had to apologise to a woman after it came to light that they dissuaded her from making a sexual assault complaint by telling her that there were no witnesses and CCTV, so basically, don't bother. I mean, their exact words were, there will be no realistic prospect of prosecution, which of course, as we all know, is cop speak for go away and let me finish my donuts. The woman who was making the complaint, who has not been named for obvious reasons, said the letter was sent last month by a detective sergeant, even before she had been interviewed. So she calls them up and tells them about a sexual assault. They take an initial report over the phone or at the desk, for which they need a statement to delve into the allegations fully, but can't be bothered, so tell her to do one as it means a bit of extra work for them. In the letter sent on the 13th of June, the detective sergeant told the woman that, in order to proceed, we would require a video interview from yourself for the formal complaint. After this is obtained, we could look to interview the suspect and the evidence would be reviewed. However, without anything supporting, such as witnesses or CCTV, there will be no realistic prospect of a prosecution. Now, obviously, depending on the kind of assault, I'm sure there could be DNA evidence or other forensic evidence, depending on where the assault took place. But of course, we don't know the ins and outs of the full allegation. That's not something really we can speculate on at the moment. The operations manager at the Rape and Sexual Assault Centre here in Merseyside, Lorrain Wood, who is supporting the complainant, said, "The woman had not even given a statement, so how the police could make that decision is beyond me." She said the service often heard anecdotal reports of victims being encouraged to drop a case, but this is the first time we have seen it in writing. 5 years ago, this would be a very rare thing that we would hear, especially from specialist officers. Now, this is an everyday experience. 9 out of 10 victims tell us about negative response that they hear, which is why so few sexual offences end up with anyone being charged, let alone convicted. And just 1.6% of rapes recorded by police in the country, or England and Wales, in 2020 actually resulted in a charge or a summons. 1.6%. Wonder why that might be. Assistant Chief Constable Chris Green, with his word salad, said a senior officer had spoken to the complainant after her case was raised by a member of the Guardian newspaper and, of course, apologised for any additional distress our response has caused, and we are now working with her to ensure she gets the support she should have had from the beginning. Sadly, I can say that the victim did not receive the high level of service that the force expects and she deserved. This included a letter that did not demonstrate the level of sensitivity and empathy that we would expect. We wholly understand that when a victim comes forward to report an allegation of this nature, that it can be painful and traumatic for them to recount the ordeal they have suffered. I want to reassure anyone who is a victim of rape or sexual abuse that if they can find the strength to come forward and speak to us, we will do everything within our power to ignore you and not get caught again. To bring the offenders to justice. Now, the woman initially said that after she received the letter from Merseyside Police, she thought, what's the point in doing the video interview, as the police seem so uninterested in following it up, but has now said she's decided to go ahead with the support of the Rape and Sexual Assault Centre here in Liverpool. So there we go, another apology. All's forgiven, nothing to see here. When are people going to stop taking these meaningless apologies as a result when making a complaint? There must be a reason why the police chose to put this woman off her complaint in the first place. What is that reason? We need to know. The public need to know. She needs to know. But of course, it'll simply be blamed on somebody else who the force will say is now being retrained and they won't do it again. Until next time. And everyone gets on with their lives, except for the people who have been affected by crime and who have to live with that for the rest of their lives without ever seeing justice. Yet another example of can't be asked policing. Certainly not a mistake if the detective sergeant was from the sexual crimes unit, which I would imagine she was, as there is no excuse from a specialist plod ever trying to put someone off reporting such a serious offence.